Ooh, 12.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes.
Right. Let them all in, my dear. How's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
If everyone's alive and you can hear me, let me hear a thumbs up or see one. All right. Oh my God. That's a lot of thumbs. All right. We will be started shortly in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. We're just waiting for the rest of the Neo Noirites to arrive. I like all of the suits I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot. Oh, a salute, sir. Touche. Vogue, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. All right. This is going to be a lot of fun, people. I've received a lot of questions and I've answered none of them. So we shall see what the answers are tonight. People were saying, should I bring my stylist in and should I bring my makeup consultant? Well, now you know. If you see a real ugly person here, you know what they should have done. So we shall see. Is everybody in? Okay, bring him in too. There's a guy banging on the door. Let him in. Once we have all of the people in, look at the smiles. Everybody got their teeth fixed prior to coming here. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Boy, you should have seen Neo Noir Festival 2021. It was a horror story. We all had to talk with our mouths very tight-lipped, you know. Really something. This is the... All right, we ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LA Neo Noir interviews. Woohoo! Let me hear you say yeah.
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 All right. Okay, now mute yourself again so we can begin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for arriving. This interview, VIP experience interview, is sponsored by the Haunt Los Angeles, one of the greatest ghost tours of all time. They have to be if they're supporting this festival. We want to thank the Temecula, Los Angeles, and San Francisco chapters of the Haunt. The Haunt Ghost Tours, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to scare the bejesus out of someone. Okay, tonight I have a lot of great neo-noir writer, producers, and directors. But before we get started, let's start with a little, let him in. Let's start with a little trivia, ladies and gentlemen. Who, by a sign of thumbs, is a great film noir aficionado? Let me see your thumbs up if you love film noir. Okay, we've got a lot of thumbs here. I think I'll go, excuse me. Oh my God, you didn't hear that. Edit that part out, the burp. Let's hear from Luke Swanson. Luke, unmute yourself.
I'll do my best.
All right.
I'll do what I can.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds to give me 4 film noir titles.
Okay.
And the clock starts now.
The Third Man, LA Confidential, Black Dahlia, and you know what? I am blanking on the camera.
We'll come back to you, Luke.
Okay,
you have another chance to redeem yourself.
Okay.
Who had their thumbs up? Anybody else still got a thumb up and want to try this game? Okay, we'll do one more. Maybe we'll go with some feminine energy at this point. Let's go with Megan Mara. Megan, unmute yourself. All right, you got a dead body in the background, so you should be good at this. Okay, let's hear from you. Megan, you got 10 seconds, but you can't. Oh, a man just appeared out of nowhere. Hold on one second, ladies.
You
That's Chuck
change my name in it.
That's Chuck Mara.
Hello.
All right. Okay,
Hi.
hello, Mara. Okay, you get 10 seconds. You can't use anything Luke Swanson used, though. So here we go. 10 seconds to tell me 4 film noir titles. And the clock starts now.
Maltese Falcon, The Thin Man, Treasure of Sierra Madre, and Body Heat.
And the clock goes to Mr. Mara. That's beautiful. You know, body heat, it's actually a Neo Noir, but I'm not going to debate it with you, man. We're just going to give you your money. We're going to give you your prize. And, you know, I'm going to even donate a little something to Luke Swanson's campaign for being such a good sport. All of you guys are going to get 500 for Starbucks, ladies and gentlemen. 500 whole cent to buy the coffee of your dreams, and you know, bone up on that film noir, ladies. All right, so don't spend it all in one place, okay? But let's go now to the matter at hand, people. We didn't come here to just talk about old film noir and give away Starbucks cards. We came here to talk about the greatest neo noir independent in Los Angeles at this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you anything. I'm going to let you know I want to hear your name, your capacity in the project, a brief summary of your project, and where people can reach you, okay? And then after that, if we have time, we're going to go over some more complex questions, all right? So let's start. Let's just go in order here, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have anybody waiting, my dear, for this? Okay, we're all in the house. Okay, good. Let's start with a gentleman that reminds me of Gary Cooper already. Let's go with Elliot Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Elliot Cooper, take it away. The floor is yours.
Right. Elliot Cooper, screenwriter. The story is called Cosmos Black. It's about the danger to other people from troubled souls needing immediate intervention and not getting or wanting it. And in this case, it involves a double homicide in Denver 30 years ago. And it involved a Denver celebrity and a trust fund baby from the Betcher fortune. Betcher in Colorado's like Rockefellers in New York. It ends up with a vehicular homicide, an unsuspected suicide, and a ending with a whodunit ending, which leaves the audience still trying to figure out who did it.
I see. Let me ask you a question before you tell me about your next project, Elliot Cooper. Film noir is considered an old genre. You know, it's considered an old genre for old people in the old days. I'm not saying you or I are very old, because I'm a spring chicken, as you can probably see here. I dyed my hair gray, just so you know. But what is there a place for film noir in today's society, Elliot? Why would people want to see some film noir when you got Batman, you got a lot of porno, food porno this lady was telling me about that's available? Why wouldn't you want to rather make love to food than do this film noir stuff? What's the purpose of film noir now?
I think it's just bringing back, well-made movies to folks who appreciate that kind of content, and eliminates all the other stuff that's out there that's, that not that very fulfilling to film aficionados.
Elliot, what project are you working on next?
Well, I'm shifting from screenwriting to a book I'm writing about turning bronze statues into speaking stories for little rugrats. So I'm doing that next, and then I'll see how Cosmos Black works out before I jump into some other genre from the past. I'm more interested in things that happened in the past than today. So,
touche, Elliot. Stick around. We have some more questions for you if you can. Otherwise,
sure.
We'll be with you in 1 second. Now, okay. I want to hear from the great, legendary, what's your name, man? Dastan Khalil, ladies and gentlemen. Dastan, take the floor. The floor is yours. Take it away, Dastan.
Hi, this is Dastan Khalili. I'm grateful to Los Angeles Neo Noir for having me on and selecting my screenplay, Tiger Bones. I'm a writer-director. And this is my next feature, which I'm going to make. Tiger Bones is a high intensity, female driven kind of action noir film. It's about a teenage runaway who's also a martial arts master seeking the vengeance for her father's death. She makes friends with this mysterious woman while in downtown LA, getting into trouble, and they both fall into a secret society of thieves who plans to use them and then kill them. So think like Kill Bill meets The Little Things.
Wow, that was a mouthful, Dastan. It appears from my visuals here, I could be wrong, but you appear to be a man, Dastan. Is that correct? Or I don't want to
I
misjudge.
am.
Okay.
Yes, I identify as a man.
Okay, let's deal with the elephant in the room, Dastan. When there's many elephants in this room, I promise you that. What gives you the right to speak on behalf of a female hunter-killer action hero? Have you ever lived your life as a female before and an action hero stabbing people? Just any of those elements. Have you had any experience with that? And are the female action hero killers that's out there going to be upset that you took their writing from them and didn't? How is it legitimate in what you're doing, Dastan? Speak on that.
Absolutely. First of all, it's legitimate because I'm an artist, a filmmaker, a writer, and a director. I don't think you have to be a certain thing just to write about it. Second of all, my previous feature is called The Way, which is about a female underground street fighter who spends her time on death row. The film is very successful. I've won many awards, and I have been to many festivals, and it's been distributed. And you know what? I kind of follow the muse, Mr. Westbrook. What comes through me is what comes through me. So, I'm not going to have a judgment on that. I'm just going to follow the intention and the creativity that's coming in.
And you feel that the female voice is authentic, and do the women that see the movie, do they feel that?
They do indeed. In fact, the last film, like I said, was we got accepted to and had an honorable mention at the Women's Film Festival. And I think the important thing is that it's not about being a man or a woman. It's really the recognition that within both of us, there is masculine and feminine. And as a filmmaker, I'm very much interested in bringing that balance to the front line, so things are not so one-sided. So I'm not just speaking for women, but my goal as a filmmaker is to bring the balance of the yin and the yang.
That was a beautiful, very powerful description, Dastan. Where can people reach you for some better work or some work after this?
Absolutely. You can go to my website, dastankhalili.com, or you can look me up on Amazon Prime, Apple TV. My films are all there as well.
Dastan, what's your next project that you have coming up? Tell us about that as well.
Okay, well, Tiger Bones is a project in development right now, so my main focus is that at the moment and manifesting that. But there are two other films on the block as well. One is called The Sniper, and the other currently has a working title called The Dig.
I see. We want to thank you, Dastan, for arriving. Stick around. We got a few more questions for you, but you can mute yourself right now. We'll be back with you in a moment. Elliot Cooper, we didn't get where we could reach you if we want to get some good quality product from you.
Yeah, you can reach me at my Gmail account, Gumpsky, Gumpsky 65 at gmail.com, with a little Forrest Gump built into that name.
Beautiful, beautiful, Elliot. Stick around. We're not done with you yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You stick around too, Dastan. I want to touch on Dastan's powerful point of that he is an artist, and there's a woman and a man in all of us, and devil be damned, by golly, I'm going to write from a woman's point of view. I soaked that up like cheese on a cheesecake, Dastan. It really touched my soul immensely. However, Gerald Parade's going to tell you how you full of shit. Get him, go, Gerald. Just take him out of the box with this response about it. Gerald Parade, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So
right.
I am the writer-director of My 90s, which is a series, and episode 1 is what I submitted to LA Neo Noir. And you can see that in the background, which is it's a bedroom scene, and each of my episodes touches upon a trend from the 1990s. So this first episode, the trend was cybersex and the advent of AOL chat rooms. And this is what happens on a first date that is arranged after a cybersex session. So the episode, the series opens with a cybersex session, pretty tame, but it's there. And then they find out they live in the same town, which is actually the town I live in right now, which is Stamford, Connecticut. And they agree to meet in sort of this industrial wasteland location. We used a drone to film that, and then they go to his house, and this is the scene from his bedroom at 2:30 in the morning. So
Gerald, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. So there's a device in the a low-tech device in this episode that is what gets her in trouble. Just this one little thing that keeps her from being able to get the hell out of there. So yeah.
Gerald, I'm not going to let you skate away from what me and Dastan just confronted right there. Dastan said there's a man and a woman in all of us, and he has the right to write a killer's point of view. Talk to me about the legitimacy of a man writing a woman's point of view as a killer, and talk to me about how do you write a man's point of view? Go ahead.
Yeah. So my series that I made before this one was told from a man's point of view, basically. So it was a challenge for me. I had produced a play that was from the woman's point of view, and I asked my audience, like, what do you want to see as a sequel? And they said, let's try this from a man's point of view. So I did, and it went really well. So I don't think it's so much like that man's point of view for my work anyway. I think it's really all the characters, are parts of me. So, they're just all developed in certain ways, and they're men, women, and I don't know. I don't really feel like there's anything wrong with him putting himself in her head. I don't really think that's a problem. I think, but I think like my stories, like from the women's point of view, I don't think necessarily a man would write it because, like in this particular episode, her behavior, this could have been like a real Me Too story, where like she gets it, like she really gets that revenge, but it's not, because it's like more realistic. Like she gets the hell out of there at some point, but not the way that you would romanticize it, where, she really got the guy at the end, she got out for her safety. So I think that if a man had written it, it might have ended violently. That's how I feel. Yeah, like maybe a little more expected, like what you would expect.
Wow.
Profound. Yeah, that's kind of what I think about it, just think, yeah.
Let me ask you, Gerald, how can we reach you if we want some more good material from you?
Yeah, so my name is my website, geraldparade.com. And there's like 4 projects up there. This is one of them, My 90s. And then my previous series is up there, The Elite 8. And then I have a screenplay that I'm working on right now. It's called Mariette Maricara, and it's a spy romance. It takes place in Romania.
Well, Gerald, ladies and gentlemen, is here with us. Stick around, Gerald. We have a few more questions for you. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, give them a round so far.
Thank you.
I see a guy lurking over there in the corner with the sign, the lurker, over his head. So I pretty much should talk to him next. Adam Jack, speak to us. Just tell us what you want to say.
All right. Well, my name is Adam Jack, and the project I submitted to the festival is Adam Jack's The Lurker. Now, I've got to stress right out front, that is not a pretense thing. It's just there are a lot of The Lurkers. It's very generic, and so I put my name on top of it. I'm not just full of myself. putting that out front. Now I'm going to just read the log line because that's probably the best way to get it across. But Instagram influencers Colin and Fiona seem like the perfect couple to their loyal followers, but their relationship is put to the test when a crazed serial killer breaks into their home. Chained to their bed, the couple is forced into a sadistic game of a relationship trivia where honesty is the only way to survive. So
Wow.
yeah, that's the project I submitted. It's very Neo on the Neo Noir. That it borrows a lot of elements from noir, but it's also, I mean, it is horror, but it's almost a dark drama more than it is a horror movie. If anyone has, well, it's got like a 20-minute talk scene in the middle of a horror movie, so that in itself says something about it. So,
Adam Jack, let me pull one of these different elephants in the room out and hand one to you here.
yes.
Do you feel, I spoke with a Neo Noir artist recently, and I asked him if he felt he had any obligations with his work to make any moral statements or any statements at all. Did he have any obligations? And he answered with simply no. Now,
Okay.
go ahead. So what would you say to that? Do you have an obligation to the audience or what?
Absolutely not. You don't. I tend to, in my projects, if I have something to say, it will come out. For example, there's an assault element to this. In fact, in my movie, it says it's based on a true story, and obviously, there's no serial killer who broke into influencers' houses and chained them to the bed and forced them to go through things. But there's an assault sub story in it, which is true, which happened to someone I care about, and so I was exploring that in this work. So for me, yeah, I mean, I often do, but I don't think you're obligated to by any means. I mean, entertainment can just be entertainment for the sake of entertainment as well. So,
well, if someone says, I started lurking because of Adam Jack's movie, do you feel some sense of lurking responsibility for that? As
no,
they
would be an idiot. They would be an idiot if that was the case. If they were to watch my movie and pull out of it that I should do this to someone, then it wasn't my movie who made them do that, because it by no means glorifies that type of behavior. There are movies that do. The Terrifier movies, for example. I was just talking to someone about this, where they borderline snuff more than horror. But this movie, it really treats murder the way it should be treated, which is it's something that is terrible. It is something that's horrible. The parts of this that are scary aren't jump scary. They're scary because it's terrible to watch someone die in such a way. So if they got off on that, that would be they were sick in the head to begin with, and that would have nothing to do with me. So
thank you. Adam Jack, if you go do something crazy, you're sick in the head. That's what we're going to title this as.
Fair enough.
All right. Where can we reach you, Adam Jack, for some more of this good lurky material that you have here?
You can reach me at my production company's email, which is eatyoureggsproductions@gmail.com.
Touche, indeed.
Yes.
Hang around, Adam. We're going to ask you a few more questions. I want to move now, ladies and gentlemen, to Three's a Charm, ladies and gentlemen, also known as the Crimson Case. Speak to us, Crimson Case, about who exactly, which one of you is Crimson, which one of you is Case, and just tell us what your story's about. Go right ahead.
Hi, so I'm Brent Ramos. I'm the director and editor of The Crimson Case.
All right. My name is Vivian Hong. I am the co-director and one of the writers for The Crimson Case.
I'm Phone Hain, and I am the AD and the director of photography for The Crimson Case.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to spend a special shout out to my girl, one of my girls, Trans Ho. That's her name. Don't get upset. Thank you, Trans Ho. I'm going to talk to you later. But speak to us about what's your story about?
Hey, right. So The Crimson Case is a Neo Noir film based in San Francisco. And in this story, we follow two detectives who are solving a case about a series of murders done by a killer who's wearing red leather gloves. And throughout the film, the two detectives encounter two other detectives as well as their rivalry. And at the same time, they're discovering things about themselves that they never knew, and how they actually have connections to the killer as well. So
it's a feel-good family killer movie. I like that. That's real nice. What can I ask you about this? Did you have any obligation with this movie, or you just put it out there and say, Good luck, everybody. It's going to be some killing, and it's going to be a connection, and God help you. What do you have any obligation to your community? I've had people say that, you know, as a Black director, I got to speak for my Black people and make us look good. Do you, whatever you may be, do you have an obligation to your community with your work?
Yeah, we had let's see.
Well, the story is based in San Francisco, right? So we're all from the Bay. And having a story set in, you know, where we came from is really you know, exciting to do. But other than that, we kind of just want to put out like a fun neo noir film just for everyone to enjoy. This was actually for a class at a lonely college in Fremont, California. So we actually did this as an assignment for our advanced film production. We were required to do a 30-minute film short, and we were also required to have very advanced or very technical elements to it to test our, you know, filmmaking abilities. And doing neo noir was an idea that Brent had, because not only was he fascinated with neo noir, but the style itself is very intricate. There's a lot of styles and, you know, things to consider while filming a neo noir film. We kind of just wanted to just throw out a fun film for everyone to enjoy, right? A little mystery.
Yeah, I just wanted to just throw in a little classic detective killer.
Yeah.
You know, like mystery. You know, just have some killing. Just you know, just like have it really entertaining. That's pretty much what I was just going for. Just have something really fun, get people thinking. You know, see like blood, and then just like, you know, just like.
I feel you. A little blood, a little killing, you mix the heart bubble up. I feel what you're saying. Okay. Thank you, Crimson Case. Where can we reach you for some more good material?
You could find me at Brentimon on Instagram, and my film company, Newtown Tales Entertainment, as well.
Thank you very much, Crimson Case. Stick around. Don't go anywhere if you can. We got some more goodies for you later on. I got to stop these two people down at the bottom. They can't keep their hands off of each other. They really need to go get a room. But before they do that, I want to hear from Chuck and Megan Mara, ladies and gentlemen. Please tell us about your project, Chuck and Megan, and let us have it.
Okay, we also have to bring in Rich Heckles.
Rich Heckles, who's down below us. Same background.
Okay, come out, Rich, wherever you... Oh, I see you waving at me. He's the guy with the body behind him. Okay, go right ahead.
The same body we've got.
We've got the body.
Oh, yes, it's two of you. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, three of us. So my name is Megan Foley Mara.
And I'm Chuck Mara. And we are here to talk about...
And that's Rich Heckles.
And that's Rich Heckles. And we're here to talk about the short film called Killing Hope. We are the directors of Killing Hope. And we've done like 30-something shorts together. We've been married for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so...
those numbers coincide.
It all works out.
And so Chuck shot this film. We co-direct almost everything we do. Chuck shot the film. He composed the music. He played the music, and he edited it too. So he's kind of the hero on this puppy.
It was all we could afford. So that's what you got. So Rich, you want to, we co-produced and co-wrote this with Rich and the Actors Think Tank. Rich, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I run a group of actors that nationwide that got together at the beginning of Zoom called Actors Think Tank. It's 30 actors across the country. And Megan met with us one week. We get together each week on a Zoom call and talk to experts in the field. Megan and I had a conversation about producing a short by our group. So net, about 10 members of our group originally got together to write, crew, produce, and do all the other elements of it. In the end, 5 of us ended up being involved in the actual production. 4 of us flew in from Philadelphia to the LA area for 2.5 days of the most intense shooting I've ever done. And absolute joy to do it in the home of one of the Actors Think Tank members. Chuck and Megan did a tremendous job of producing a film that runs 22 minutes and just keeps you laughing and utterly entertained the entire time while being a homage to film noir. Right, Chuck?
That's it.
Yes.
I like to think of it as a loving comic homage to the 1940s film noir classics. All right, so here's what happens. There's a murder on a modern day film set where the writer has just been killed, and his name is Benjamin Hector Esperanza, which is a nod to the great Ben Hecht, who was a great screenwriter back in the 40s. So when Rich, who plays the detective, steps in from the world, our world, into the film set, everything goes to black and white, and he becomes a traditional gumshoe. And as he investigates what really is a colorful train wreck of suspects.
Maybe I do, and maybe I don't.
I don't.
Exactly. And in a very intentionally convoluted mystery, and he puts it all together
So
in 20 minutes.
yeah, and like if the Maltese Falcon and Airplane got married and had a short film, Killing Hope would be their baby.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah. And all the actors, just so you know, they all wrote their own scenes. That was part of the deal that we had with them, is that we'll produce something for you and we'll direct it and get it in festivals and stuff like that, but you have to write your scenes. What scenes do you need on your reel? It was basically actor oriented. You know, what scenes do you need on your reel?
What did they want to say?
What
as
they want to
actors?
say as actors, and put it out there.
Yeah.
So we got them all to write, and they did it. Some of them were terrified, had never done it before. And then Chuck, and well, I did it too a little bit. I helped, but we you know, wove it all together to make it a kind of a fun, silly story.
Yeah.
All right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to stay. Well, let me ask you, where can we reach you for new material or some material just like the ones you've just made?
Okay, we've got 30 movies that we've directed. I mean, we've produced in the last couple of years, all short films. You can go to Foley Mirror Studios, thefoleymirrorstudios.com, or his email,
which is Chuck at thefoleymirrorstudios.com.
Right.
And
Beautiful.
yeah,
ahead.
we're 2 low budget indies now that are like 90 minutes, comedy, suspense,
and a series. So we've got some stuff going.
So let me ask you, with you guys, do you want to be picked up by a major studio? Do you feel you'll have the freedom to make what you're making now? Or what's your view on independence versus big budget films?
Well, we
love indies.
We love indies. It would be nice to work for a studio and pay the bills.
Have them pay the bills, not us pay the bills.
But other than that,
yeah,
I love
indie way.
films.
I mean, we do love independence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Hang around.
We share a brain. No, I was just gonna say, you can see we share a brain as well. We do everything together.
You talk at the same time. That's a great task to make, you know. Congratulations. Hang out, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back to you shortly. I'm being distracted by this red-headed lady looking at another lady that has 2 people on the side of her. And then I think I see a skeleton or a skull at the bottom of the thing. So we just need to get this out of the way right now. Let's deal with this. Is it Unstrung? And I think it's a woman named Sophie Wang. Sophie, come up and tell us about what you're doing here. Woo! Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophie, and thank you for giving a shout out to my concept art. So yeah, this is the concept art for my screenplay, Unstrung. So Unstrung is a half-hour sci-fi TV pilot screenplay, and it's about how in the near future, people can deposit and withdraw memories at this bank called the United Bank of Memories. And it's supposed to be the most secure and confidential memory bank in the world. However, one day, this assassin named Ghost found out that his memories have been stolen. So he embarks on this dangerous quest to find out what happened. And in the process of doing that, he kind of uncovers this sinister web of conspiracies. So it's kind of like Blade Runner meets the Minority Report in that it has this dark, futuristic, Neo Noir setting, and also has like elements of whodunit and a detective drama.
Touche. I was thinking Minority Report. I was also thinking of a movie called Vanilla Sky I saw years ago. Let me ask you, Sophie, how do we keep from regurgitating the same old theme about stuff, and how do we come up with a new story? How do you create fresh stories, or what you feel is a fresh story?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like everyone has a unique perspective. like even if you have seen the exact same news report on TV, you might recount that news report in different ways than your friend. So I would say just go into your own subconscious and also try to develop your own style and voice in whether writing or your directing, filmmaking, what have you. And I'm sure that the end results will not be cliche. Yeah.
Touche. That's my only word I know in another language. Touche. So I say it a lot. Sophie, where can we reach you for some more good material like this?
Yeah, so you can DM me on Instagram at Soph Opera. So that's spelled SSSOPH_OPERA. I also have a website. It's at sophwang.com, SOPHWANG.com, but it's still under development. So it'll come soon.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Hang around. We got some more questions to talk to you about shortly. Before I go into my next interview, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank once again our sponsors, the Haunt Ghost Tours. If you want to get the bejesus scared out of you, Haunt Ghost Tours is the place to go. We have spots in San Francisco, Temecula, and Los Angeles. And for this October, I'm going to be leading a couple of haunt tours, and I will definitely scare you. We also want to thank a new dating site that I'm coming up with called Date the Guy That's Around. And it goes like this. You deserve a man who is honest, who will never lie, who will never cheat, who will love you until the end of time. Until that guy shows up, go out with me. Dating, ladies and gentlemen, dating for the new millennium. And now we're going to move to our next guest, the lovely, the incredible, what's his name? Bradley Burring, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley, the floor is yours. Take it away, sir.
Hi, I'm Brad Buring. I made a film called The Indiscernibles. It's technically a short film. It's a 40-minute long film. I would recommend never making a film of that length. No one will program you except for online film festivals. But it's about a this wannabe detective who's kind of wandering around this urban wasteland, searching for the answer to an unknown question. And it's pretty abstract. It's actually something of a silent film. It's just score and narration. Kind of don't hear the dialogue. I wrote and directed and lensed and edited and scored the film, kind of just did it all myself. I'm a working cinematographer, musician by training and schooling. So it's kind of my chance to just kind of put something together that I just did on my own. I mean, I had a crew, I had a production crew and everything when I was shooting, but yeah, I kind of just did it myself.
Bradley, as you speak about this, the young Bradley Burrings of the world that haven't appeared as of yet are coming to mind, Bradley. And I'm wondering, what can you tell an 8th grade Bradley Burring about what he should do to become a great Neo Noir artist? He right now is busy digging in his nose and eating boogers. What can you do to get him on the right path towards a Neo Noir genius?
Yeah, one thing I think is that, I didn't know that you could be a filmmaker when I was a kid. You watch these movies and everything, but if you don't live in LA or New York, you're not really aware that this is a job you can have, that this is a path for you. It just doesn't seem like a thing. So the first thing is to know that that's something you can do. You can make movies. You can be involved in so many different ways. You look at the credits, there's like 1,000 names. You could be one of them,
Right. And you chose the path of, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do the cinematography, the directing, the catering, the makeup. You're doing all of this stuff. Is that sensible, Bradley? Is that the way to go?
No, definitely not. This is just for my, mostly, like I said, I work as a DP, a lot of films, and just for my own stuff, I kind of like to do some, I would prefer to be the cinematographer if I'm directing, and I would prefer not to do everything. But this was kind of a smaller thing, and I just wanted to just make it all on my own.
What do you have coming up next, Bradley?
I got some projects we're going on as a DP. I've got a couple scripts I'm kind of starting right now, feature scripts that I'm working on, looking for next project. One is kind of a neon noir kind of film, dealing with detectives and jazz musicians and dubious nightclubs and whatnot. And I have another film about an astronaut who's stranded on a weird like a forested planet, and comes across some hallucinogenic fruits and starts seeing his dead wife. So I'm pretty early on in that one. So
thank you, Bradley. How can we reach you for some more hallucinogenic forbidden?
Well, my name is unique, so you can always just Google it. My website's Bradley J, just the initial Buehring.com, and bradleybuehring@gmail.com is my email.
Makes sense. Hang in there, Bradley. Don't go anywhere if you don't have to. We got a few more questions for you later on. All right. I just want to think for a moment about all of the hallucinogenic fruit and wanting to chase my ex-wife I had going on in my life. Okay. Let's move on now to Colleen. Fuck you all. Speak to us, Colleen. Tell us about your project and help me say that name better. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Speak up. I can't hear you.
You're muted, Colleen.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was somebody else that said that. Colleen, everybody put your hand to your ear and say, okay. We'll let her stay in her world for a little minute. We're going to go.
Okay, now try. Can you hear me?
All right. Beautiful.
I found the mute button.
Everybody was waiting with bated breath, Colleen.
Sorry.
We all suffered so much.
Okay. Well, it must be the hallucinogen, right?
Touché. I was busy thinking I'm going to get some hallucinogenic fruit tonight. But go ahead. Speak about, tell us about your project, Colleen.
Okay. My pen name, I'm a published novelist, 18 novels sold to major New York publishers. And I converted one of my favorite novels to a script. Okay. And it's not what I would call neo noir, but apparently whoever was on the judging panel really liked it. It's called Michelangelo and Me. And it's my envisioning of what would happen if the guy who was Michelangelo's model for the David came to life in modern New York City.
Mm.
And in the Renaissance in 1501, he is turned to stone for cursing God and all the angels. And he is given a prophecy that he will come back to life on the dawn of a new millennium, and he'll have a quest that he has to figure out. And this quest will involve him bringing to life basically all the statues in New York City to save Michelangelo's art and to save the art historian that he's fallen in love with. That's what it's about. But the fun part is, unfortunately, I don't think this would be in the budget of an independent studio. It would be cool if it were, but I think it's going to take a big budget to do it, the fun way that I'd like to see it done, because it really needs to be a mix of animation and live action.
Beautiful, beautiful. Colleen, as you give me the short synopsis of your story, I can't help but think of a submission we received. I'm not going to put them on complete blast, but this gentleman sent me an erotic Hitler film about Hitler coming back and becoming a porno star. Now, as intrigued as I was, I did read it. It was interesting, I got to tell you. But
I bet.
How much poetic license can you take and feel comfortable with real historic characters. Is there a line that you can't cross, or?
Well, see, that's the thing, though. I didn't have any license that I had to take other than researching Michelangelo, because historians have never figured out who the model for the David was. And so I made all that up. In my story, Michelangelo was gay. I don't know how many of you know that. But in my story, they grew up together, and my hero used to protect him from all the bullies, and he'd slingshot apples off Michelangelo's head. And so when Michelangelo at 24 got the commission for the David, then his friend Domenico was the perfect model.
Wow. Wow. We're reeling over here with this new news you just delivered to us. I got to put my head back on. Michelangelo was gay.
Let me show you something real quick. Can you see this?
Don't show me no.
I wanted to show you my, can you see the books and everything I set up?
Oh, yes. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty, wow. That's a whole plethora of reading material.
Yeah, it's 18 books.
My God, that's good. It may be more than I've even read in my lifetime. We're going to move. Where can we reach you, Colleen, for some more of this gay Michelangelo work that you're working on here?
My website is ColleenShannonAuthor.com, and it's got a contact tab there.
Touche. Thank you, Colleen.
Don't
go anywhere. Sit tight. The lady in red. We need everyone tight there. I'm going to move now. I'm not going to be able to rest unless I go to this man with a hat as nice as my own. I got to go to the great, legendary, the one of a kind. He needs no introduction. What's his name? Dwayne Bontrager, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne, take it away.
Hey, thanks. So Dwayne Bontrager is my name. I'm supporting the final cut. This is the film that's been submitted. This film I've made myself. I've also made about 30 plus short films, but the last 6 or so I've partnered up with Greenview Films with Angel Alvarez. He's at a he couldn't be here because he had an acting something going on. I can't remember what it was, but anyways, he couldn't make it. But yeah, so he's the second producer of this film. I was the writer, editor, producer on this as well. So yeah. Anyways, I can tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
I'm going to read the log line as well.
Yes, give it to us.
Yeah, a friendship is created through an unfortunate situation. Sarah and Savannah have been kidnapped, stuck in a basement, awaiting their parents' ransom. So things don't really turn out well for them.
Yes, a good old stuck in the basement ransom story. It's what I like to hear. Okay, I'm going to deliver this to you as well, Dwayne. It's a question I've asked previously, but I'm going to word it a little bit more oriented for you. Is this going to inspire a lot of ransom kidnappings? Do you have any conscience, Dwayne, about all of these ransom kidnapping movies that are going out and people doing this? Well, it's not a lot of people with a lot of money to pay ransoms at this time, but what are your thoughts on material and how provocative it should be? Are they going to be having some Hitler porn in this basement, or what's been going to be going on with this? Talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, it's again, like I said, the things don't turn out well for them. The ransom does not arrive, so things do not go well. And then there's actually a couple fairly unusual twists that I hope that nobody has seen before.
Okay, some brand new material.
But I would say, if it inspires anybody to kidnap somebody, I would hope not, because they did not get rewarded.
I see. It's not the ending that they think that might happen. Okay, a lot of people think they'll be successful with a kid. Believe me, I know. Okay, now we're going to move over to Milena McCabe, ladies. Oh, wait a minute. Don't wait just yet. Wayne, where can we reach you for some more of this good locked in the basement material that you're doing?
Okay. Yeah, so you can reach me on Facebook, basically Dwayne Bontrager. I'm probably one of the only Dwayne Bontragers in there. And Angel Alvarez, you can reach him at greenviewfilms.com. And you'll be able to get a hold of Angel Alvarez through that website.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Don't go away. We got more questions to come. I want to speak now to Miriam McCabe, Milena McCabe, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Milena McCabe. I wrote the pilot script for Noctis Polaris, which is a surreal psychological detective show that is about the hunt for a killer over several years. It begins in summer, mid-2010s, as best friends Georgia and Celine investigate a series of occult imagery tagged throughout their town for their high school newspaper, but they quickly find themselves in over their heads as the crimes turn violent. Then years later, in the dead of winter, the killer reemerges, and Georgia returns to this town that she once decided to abandon to finally uncover the truth and achieve justice. But all the while, she is battling night terrors, hallucinations, and just the general hauntings of the ghosts of her past.
Wow. A ghost story.
A little bit.
Yes. Okay. Let me see. You're a woman, yes, Milena?
I am.
I don't want to get that wrong anymore this week. I've had enough of that. Why are there so few women neo-noir producers? I've had maybe 5 submissions by women, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that's here. If I didn't consider you a woman, my apologies. What is the lack of women producers in neo-noir? What would you say the reason is? Or is there?
I do feel like noir is a little bit of a male-dominated genre, just in terms of it's often about male detectives and male angst, which, nothing wrong with that, but we do have a lot of it. And so, I feel like this is kind of an answer for a lot of things, and maybe is not a very fun answer, but I think a lot of it does come down to opportunity, or if women see themselves in these noir stories and feel that they can write them themselves. Because I would say, as a woman who's known lots of women, we have a lot of darkness in us. We can write things pretty twisted ourselves.
I can attest to the darkness in the women. I agree with that. What are you working on next, Milan?
I'm currently working on a.
What are you working on next?
I'm currently working on a feature script. It's still kind of in the brainstorming phases, but this is I kind of wanted to do a modern Gothic story. I've been inspired by Edgar Allan Poe, Promising Young Woman, so there's a little bit of revenge in there. Just something, Gothic and dark, but also very modern, and how those stories are still pretty relevant to us.
Touche. Thank you, Milena. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We got more questions for you to come. I want to see if this gentleman I'm looking at right now is a mannequin or an avatar or an actual person, because he sat there for 10 minutes solid with his hand right here. So, Christian, he is alive. Okay. Christian, speak to us about your project, sir.
Hi, my name's Christian. I did the project Servant of Evil. It's a 10-minute short film. It's a classic noir set in a futuristic sci-fi world. It's my first ever film. I did it as a senior project for my college, Lesley University in Boston. And it's about a detective named Brendan Cross who is investigating the murder of the town's mayor. I'll leave it at that.
Christian, let me ask you, you appear to be a young fella, pretty spry there, pretty virile and agile and all of those other good words. What makes you think you can come into this old man's game and create some neo-noir of some kind? Why are you even here, Christian? What possessed you think that you had the cojones to produce a master Neo Noir film for the LA Neo Noir Festival? Talk to us about that, Christian.
Well, it's actually kind of funny because I don't when it comes to like film and art, I don't really connect with it's mainly my dad. I don't really connect to my dad that much, but he loves film noir, so he showed me like all his favorite like film noirs when I was a kid. So like Maltese Falcon, this old one called Detour, which I think is a super underrated one. And I've also gotten really into like sci-fi noir stuff like Blade Runner and also the anime Cowboy Bebop. So I kind of tried to combine like my dad's love and my love into like one film.
I see. I see. Where can we reach you for some more of this hybrid new neo noir stuff that you're doing, Christian?
Yeah, you can. My Instagram is Christian Fox Film and Photos, and that's where you can find all my contact information through Instagram.
Hold on one second, Christian. Thank you, Christian. Hang out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be with you in a short second. I'm going to admit this guy by myself, baby. I got it. All right. Let's go to the gentleman that dressed up like I did with a tie on. We're going to go to Luke Swanson, ladies and gentlemen. Luke, take it away.
Hello, my name's Luke. I am the screenwriter of Epicenter. It's my first screenplay, actually, so I'm very excited to be here. I am also, much like Colleen, a published novelist, so I'm kind of trying to make the jump, and I adapted one of my novels into this script. In Epicenter, see, it's real. It's real.
Okay.
In Epicenter, a Los Angeles police detective finds himself in the wrong place at the very wrong time when a brutal cartel tries to kill both a rival and a witness. And so the detective must fill the role of protector as the three of them flee the cartel's gunmen, even as the big one, the worst earthquake in LA's history, ravages the city. So these three unlikely, begrudging allies must navigate the chaos and the destruction, even as they're running with an entire army behind them. Epicenter. I call it an action thriller neo-noir.
Okay, I'm going to throw a bit of a monkey wrench into the elephant in the room here, Luke Swanson. There's this beef. I'm originally from Chicago, and this city called New York City has this bug up their ass about who has the best hot dogs and pizza and all of this crap. And everybody knows deep dish takes over that flat shit that they're working.
Deep dish number one.
Thank you. So we won't even get into the hot dog situation. What is it about LA that makes this neo-noir worthy, or does it have a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to LA as opposed to any other city? Like, is it better than New York with neo-noir? Is it better than Chicago? What makes this city the quintessential neo-noir place of the stuff to do?
Noir, from what I've seen, I am no expert, but I am a fan. Noir is all about the darkness within and the darkness without. And I think that's LA down to the wire. A lead character in a noir can be a hero 1 minute and a villain in an hour. And I think that's a lot of how LA is. It has a lot of great history. It has a lot of tragic, horrific history. A lot in the day, shiny, bright, beautiful, the place to be. At night, there's a lot of darkness and a lot of danger. So I think LA plays that duality exactly as noir.
Touche. Where can we reach you, Luke, for some more good material in the noir category?
You can reach me on my author website. That's my name right there. That's www.lukeswansonauthor.com. I have a few books on there, and I have a new book coming out in December. That's a mystery as well. So we'll see how that goes.
We will indeed. Don't go anywhere, Luke Swanson. And I forgot to tell the other gentleman, don't you go anywhere. Oh, it's a woman. Milena, don't go anywhere as well. Stick around.
Should I say my handles as well?
Yes, as well. That's what I meant to do. That was a surprise. Go right ahead.
No problem. So you can reach me on Twitter, X, Shitter, whatever it's called nowadays. I'm Milena_Macabre, MACABRE. And you can also email me. That's easier. It's milena.macabre@gmail.com. Thank you.
Very much, Milena. Don't go anywhere, Milena. We'll be back to you on the shitter shortly. We're going to move over here. I want to see a sign of hands. Who has not had their presentation yet? Raise your hand. Jordan Charles, Pat Mitchell, Bradley Burring. Oh my God, I thought I talked with Bradley. And Sean Finley, he's been here since the beginning. I know he's mad. Okay, we're going to
I'm
go
sorry.
to, let's go to Sean Finley. Let's get him out of the way here. Sean, speak up and tell us about your project.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. My name's Sean Finley, and my project is titled We Live in Water, and it's basically an adaptation of a short story by the author Jess Walter. And Jess actually, he's like a New York Times bestselling author, and he lives in my hometown of Spokane, Washington. And the story is basically about how there's this history of violence basically between a father and a son, and half of the story takes place in the 1950s and the other half takes place in the 90s. And so it's kind of about the son 40 years later trying to find out what happened to his dad in the past. So yeah.
Touche. Let's ask you a question here. You're going back into the past, and that sounds kind of like Back to the Future with a noir twist on it, Sean Finley. What possessed you to write this story? What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, I mean, I didn't write it. I was obviously adapting it. But it's funny because this collection of short stories came out back in like 2013, and I actually read it over lockdown, when everybody was stuck at home. And this one really just stood out in my memory in terms of like, it's such a story that so many people can like relate to in terms of having a strained relationship with a parent and not really knowing them, and then trying to sort of connect with them after that relationship is already gone. So that was kind of what grabbed me about it.
Touche. Where can we reach you, Sean, for more good work like this?
Sure. So my website is thishadbetterbegood.com. And that's also my Instagram handle is at thishadbetterbegood.
Thank you, Sean. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you in a moment. I want to ask you a few questions about Sean Connery as well after this. We're going to move now. Before I go any further, I got to thank once again our sponsors, The Haunt, Ghost Tours, scaring the out of everybody. Go to the Haunt Tours, Ghost Tours right now and book your Haunt Tours thing. I'm there for a limited time through the month of October, but they got a lot of excellent ghost tours, and they'll help you find somebody that'll spook the bejesus out of you. Los Angeles, Temecula, and San Francisco. Let's see you make those numbers happen, people. I want to read this note from my friend. He wrote it to his girlfriend, Christine. He says, the women I get, Christine, get the best cars, the best clothes, the best finer things in life. So I hope you got a good credit card, Christine. Okay, I'm not going to read any more stuff from him anymore. That's the end of that, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see by a sign of hands who is an avid fan of Neo Noir. Raise your hand. Okay, we got Bradley Burring, Colleen Fugler, Pat Mitchell. Okay, Bradley Burring, unmute yourself. Everybody else can stay muted or whatever it was you were doing prior to this. Bradley, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to give me 4 David Lynch films in the Neo Noir category. The clock starts now.
Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, really Twin Peaks: The Return, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me.
You did it. That's it, Bradley. Everybody give Bradley a hand. He did it. He took the mic. Bradley, we're going to give you 500 cents to a new restaurant called Del Taco. It's a place that's just been opened up, at least in my area it has been. I don't know if it's popular anywhere else, but you enjoy those tacos, Bradley, or whatever you want to do. If you want to take that certain someone out, you know where to go. All right. let's move on. Since we got you on the line, Bradley, tell us about your project.
I told you already. I don't know why I raised my hand when you asked that again.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? Let's come back to you in a minute. We're going to get these itching and scratching people. Jordan Charles is like, what the fuck, man? How long am I going to stay here? Jordan, take it away with your project.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome. You're cracking me up with your humor. You got some good bits. It's great.
I learned.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I actually had some Zoom problems the first 10 minutes, so I missed a couple, but I read Luke and Sean. I'm writing some of these down. Milena, Dwayne, Bradley, Sophie. These are awesome concepts that everyone has. So like major thumbs up, everyone. I can't wait to look online and look at everyone's films. They're fantastic. I love noir as well. Touch of Evil. There's so many, Notorious. There's so many different ones that I love as well. I love Lynch. My film is personally inspired, Brothers in Arms. It's got LA as almost like a major character with all the nighttime dread of what Los Angeles can be and the underworlds that can exist. The film involves two brothers. They get separated by a terrible, tragic childhood accident, and they grow up with disparate lives. One becomes a police officer, the other a criminal. And the film picks up 25 years later. They're on this collision course to collide. And the film explores the meaning of brotherhood after distance and separation, plays its tune, and can family be redeemed? And what does the meaning of family really hold for these two individuals after that much dread?
Wow. I feel like I've seen the movie now just from that short synopsis there. I need to go use the restroom now. Well, not because of the movie, but thank you, Jordan. What can I ask you about this? Is it about police officers, you said?
Yeah, so it's got the duality where you follow the police officers that are trying to take down this syndicate that's just causing havoc over burning Los Angeles. And then you see the other side where how the syndicate operates in the shadows and what they're doing to permeate every structure of the city. So it's a lot of dread and menace and, can good triumph over a lot of the immoralities that are on display.
Okay, Jordan, let me throw you a fastball here and play devil's advocate with the elephants in the room. Do you have a responsibility to portray our police as upstanding individuals, or do you feel this will contribute to the idea that there's some corruption in the police department? What's your view about your responsibility to these upright citizens of the police force?
You ask great questions. So, I mean, the truth is always complicated, right? In my opinion, I ended up doing a couple ride-alongs to prepare for the film. I wrote it and I produced it, directed. I'm acting in it, so it's a very heart-grown project for me. But I tried to make sure to portray the police, I think, in the most accurate light. We had a lot of forensics experts that contributed consulting services and things like that in the film. We spent a lot of time to make sure that we would capture how police work is portrayed in the film in a very authentic way. And the people that I came across, I actually found it very admirable the way a lot of them attack their job. I think you got to be careful with media, right? They'll highlight some of the bad, but there's a whole host of good with resolute people that are so committed. So I would say the truth is kind of in between.
Touche. Where can we reach you for some more good material, Jordan Charles?
So the handles for the film, the website is www.watchbrothersinarms.com. So Watch Brothers in Arms. And then my handles are at actor Jordan Charles. So I'm predominantly an actor, so a lot of my work is on that website.
Thank you, Jordan. Don't go anywhere. We got a special question for you right after this interview session. Before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say I think I love the police more than anybody. The police are some of my favorite. That's some of my favorite. I can get it out. Wait a minute. They're some of my favorite people. And I've done some ride-alongs as well with the police. They rode me all the way to the police station. But we're going to move now to the great, legendary Mr. Pat Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen. Pat, take it away.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for calling me legendary. Yeah. Yeah, so my project is it's a film called Apples, Oranges, Lemons, and Limes, and it's less of a crime noir and more of a romance noir. And one thing I love about noir is with the romance noir, it's all about sparking a romance in a very dangerous situation. So that's exactly what my film is. It's basically about a student going into college, finds his middle school crush at a party, and they both basically get drunk and everything, and then at the end of the night, he has to walk her home, which is 3 miles, in this very dark, shadowy neighborhood, and lots of things happen, sweet things, dangerous things. It's a very big mix of a lot of different genres. So I hope you guys enjoy it when you see it. It's called Apples, Oranges, Lemons, and Limes.
Thanks, Pat. Pat, I go to my old standalone question that I ask everybody.
Right.
Responsibilities, Pat. You know, did the gangster rap make people do it, or did the people make gangster rap do what it did? What is your obligation? We live in a rough society, Pat, where they blame a lot of things on the art. You know, watch out for the kids. You hear that a lot of times. Watch out for the kids. Watch out for the adults. Watch out for the little people.
Right.
You know, not just little people, like the people that don't have any financial value. I'm not talking about dwarfs. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, Pat.
Right.
What do you have an obligation to people other than to just put out the funkiest, bloodiest, Scarface, crack smoking thing? What's your obligation to the America?
Right. Well, one thing is a lot of things that are considered dangerous in cinema are not so dangerous. It's all in perspective, you know. For instance, a hero could hold a gun and a villain could hold a gun. Which one's evil? Which one's good? You know. And in my film has a lot of sense of teenage drinking and young adult drinking, which obviously tends to be shadowed on a lot of different films. And what I do is I actually talk about the good side of it, the celebration of drinking, and less being immature with alcohol, but being mature with alcohol and being able to free yourself and be responsible with it. You know, and I really do think that the media portrays a lot of things that are not dangerous as a dangerous thing, you know, and it's a good balance to be the counterbalance to that.
Touche. Where can we get some more of this good vibe alcohol stories from you? Let me ask you, not just that, I'm sure, but where can we get more material from you, Pat?
Right. Yeah. My film is on IMDb. It's called Apples, Oranges, Lemons, and Limes. And if you'd like, on the very bottom, it actually has the links to my social media, to my Instagram and my Twitter. Just send me a message and I'll give you whatever you want.
Thank you so much, Pat. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be with you shortly. I don't think I've heard from, or I have heard from that gentleman. Let's hear from Louis C.K., ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, Elliot Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Elliot Cooper, take it away. I can't hear you at all, Elliot Cooper.
Yeah, I think you already got me. I was numero uno.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm getting old, Elliot. There's no way around it, man.
It's okay.
You know, I've been doing this Neo Noir stuff a long time, since it was film noir, possibly. So this is what we're going to do, people. We're going to do a lightning round. I'm going to go person to person. And what I want you to tell me is, well, just being on this ghost tour, I've been dealing a lot with legacy and what people leave behind when they're done, you know, when they're finito, when they're deceased or what have you. What do you want to leave behind as a filmmaker? What is there any type of wording or message, or what is it that you want people to know? And what is it that you want people to know about life? I'm talking to Neo Noir geniuses here. I want to hear what's the advice you have for people to be a great Neo Noir filmmaker and to live a great life. You can be a great Neo Noir life if you want it, but This is some profound stuff. We deal with some little existential stuff here at the LA Neo Noir Festival. So give it a moment, think about it, and tell me what you think would make a great Neo Noir producer, and what would make you live a great life. Let's start with, who wants to go first? Raise your hand. Okay, Pat Mitchell, take it away.
All right. I would say just don't be afraid of shadows, you know? If you see some darkness somewhere, explore it. Don't go too far. But you might find something that you learn something from it, you know? And I think Neo Noir has this space where it tends to go in the gray area. There's no absolute black or white, even though that's the style of it. And that's a really great thing when you live like that, because then you're not scared of anything. And usually it's up to your choice how bad or how sadistic or how happy and how energized you want to be in any given situation. You know, the one thing to do is, if you live your life black and white, you'll be more disappointed than happy. That's just what it is.
And liquor is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to hear any bad talk about alcohol. Okay, we're going to move to our next person, and that's the person that raises their hand first. I guess I better go to Luke Swanson, ladies and gentlemen. Take it away, Luke.
Very much to echo what Pat said, is that life can be dark, but it can make you braver. If you face the darkness and link arms with people that you trust, you'll come out the other side braver.
Shay, I feel a lot of darkness when I look in the mirror, and I'm happy with it. Okay, that's all I'm going to go do with that. I'm not going to do any more. Okay, we're going to move on now to, let's just hear from Milena. She has an interesting look on her face, so let's hear from her about this stuff.
You know, I'm not sure if noir, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we flipped out for a second. I'm not sure if noir is the right genre to look at for how to live a good life, given that it seems like everyone I've seen in noir is struggling. But I would say truth and justice, I think, are important things to strive for in life. And whether or not you actually are able to achieve them, I think the fight is important. And that is ultimately what you will leave behind.
Now, let me ask you, what makes a great neo-noir producer?
I think it's a good understanding of what noir is trying to say. I feel like noir often is about the corruption of the human soul. So I think it's someone who understands that corruption and maybe has battled it themselves, and can turn it into something intriguing and entertaining on the other side.
Thank you so much, Milena. Now I want to come to 60 years of combined arguing and loving and staying together that can take this thing away. You know who I'm going to, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck and Megan, take it away. Advise us on how we live this life and how we become great neo-noir geniuses.
Well, I don't know about neo-noir geniuses, although I think to be a good producer, you just have to be a good organized producer that's enthusiastic and that can rally your troops. That's kind of my whole philosophy. And to be a compassionate producer as well. There's a lot of people that are not so much. For 60 years combined, I would say we laugh a lot. Yeah. We do everything together. We laugh a lot. We spend all of our time laughing and working together. We've not only worked together, we have a casting company that we've had for 30 years called Megan Foley Casting, and then Foley Mara Casting, and then it's been around a long time. Yeah. So we do a lot of we work together, and we're always together.
Yeah, just a lot of listening, and I say this a lot about marriage and working. If you can live without somebody, do, and if you can't, that's who you marry, because that's what it is. And I guess, I mean, as far as the film noir aspect of it goes, is that what I love about noir is it really is there's no pure hero. Everybody's just human trying to get to where they want to go and bump into each other. And I think there's a lot you could learn from that.
Yeah. And we like the heightened drama of it, I think.
Oh, I love the heightened drama.
Yeah. We all love the heightened drama, you guys.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hang on there for 1 second. I want to do a perfect contrast from Chuck and Megan to Christian that's just coming out here throwing these hybrids together. Christian, talk to us about the quintessential neo-noir genius. What makes a great neo-noir producer? And what makes a person have a great life? Talk to us, Christian. The first thing is that we can hear you, Christian, and I can't hear you at all. So turn that mic up.
I don't know much about maybe being a neo-noir producer or something, but I can say definitely just treat people the way you want to be treated. Like I was on a lot of film sets my senior year. Like I helped a lot of colleagues, and a lot of them films were very stressful. A lot of film shoots are very stressful, and then a lot were super chill. And I think it all comes down to the director being just like a chill person and like a good person. Like when you're calm, everyone else is calm, and if you're mad, everyone else around you is mad. And I feel like that just works for life in general. Like my boss at work is super calm, and like the store runs well. And the same thing goes for any film or any family or any friend group, whatever you do.
All right. Thank you, Christian. Okay, Sophie Wang, take it away.
Yeah. So to answer your first question, what makes a great neo-noir producer? I think it's people who understand the traditions of noir, the aesthetics and the writing that comes with it. And most importantly, I think they need to understand that noir is timeless. It's not pastiche. It's not a dead genre. It's very much alive, and it's pregnant with possibilities. And what makes a good life? I don't know if I am super qualified to give advice on this, because I think I'm still relatively young. But I think everyone creates their own reality. So if you want to live a hellish, super depressing life, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to look on the bright side and live like the protagonist in Amelie, you can do that as well.
Touche. Thank you, Sophie Wayne. You hear that, Middle East? I'm not going to say anything about that. Okay, we're going to move over here to Colleen Fuglia. She's over there thinking about it. That's why she's not on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll come back to her in a second. Colleen, come back when you're ready. We need you. We're waiting for the answer to the questions of life. Now we're going to move over. Oh, she did. She heard me indeed.
Hi. I was getting a bite to eat. I didn't have time to eat dinner.
Understood. That's part of living, ladies and gentlemen. You got to eat dinner. Okay. Tell us, Colleen, what makes a great neo-noir genius and what makes a great life?
Okay, I'm going to answer the second one first, because I've spent a lot of time exploring that in my books. I think the most important thing that any person can hold on to on the day they die is liking who they see in the mirror. And that's a journey that's, you can do some horrible things. You can be a drug addict. I mean, you can not treat your kids well and overcome all that if you have the right motivation and make the right choices. So as for what makes a great neo-noir, the one that comes to mind for me is No Country for Old Men by the Coen brothers. I think that's one of the best that's come out in many years.
All right. Okay. All right, man, with the nice brim, Dwayne Bontrager, it's time for you to shine. Tell us what makes great neo-noir geniuses and what makes a great life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'll start with starting with the what makes a great neo-noir. I think you're saying producer, but I was going to say maybe say a writer. Is I know a habit that I have is that I'm constantly keeping notes and jotting down, sayings and occurrences and different things that I'm seeing in my own life happen around me. And just by keeping those notes, a lot of stuff that I actually end up writing for my stories, I actually incorporate little funny sayings or little interesting really odd things that I've written down. So I don't know, that's just something I do that I think helps maybe my storytelling. So maybe, you know, if somebody doesn't do that, maybe start doing it, and you might refer to something you wrote down 10 years ago.
Yes, yes. Now, we can't skirt around that life question, Dwayne. Talk to us. What makes a great life?
Yeah. Okay. I just, me personally, I try to stay away from the news. I don't get wrapped up in all the hoopla that the world tries to shove down, you know. So I don't know. I think my life's better by not paying attention. I get made fun of a lot when I don't know what's going on in the world. But it's just because I don't put myself there. I don't need that weight of the world on me. So that's just my personal way I go about things.
Boucher. Thank you, Dwayne. Let's speak with, have I talked with you, Jordan, about this question? Then let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
No, so those are great sentiments everyone's coming up with. I think on the life side, it's hard, right? It's such a personalized thing. I like what Buddha said. All you need is something to love, work that you love, and something to hope for. I think you add those three things, a lot of failure and a lot of overcoming. I think that's what it should be all about.
Indeed, indeed. Now, a great neo-noir producer, how would you create one, Jordan?
Oh boy, I like, Colleen, what you said. No Country for Old Men is so seminal in my eyes. If you can achieve anything close to something like that, I think something with dread, gray or shadowy characters, where morality is spinning like a broken compass, grayscale, something that looks like Touch of Evil or Casablanca, which is not noir, but it's still got shades of it. I think if you follow that type of recipe or ingredients, I think you're in the right alleyway.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Jordan. Now, have I heard from Bradley Byrne yet?
No. I think, yeah, neo noir. Yeah, it's really about, you know, I think that genre just is such a great template for so many things, and exploring any kind of mysteries. And I really feel like, you know, just kind of all the existential mysteries, it really lends itself well to that, and all the ways you can abstract those ideas and project all these things into it, you know. And I think that's what all the great films are kind of about, you know. As for life, I kind of have this little twisted version of the golden rule that I feel like I live by, and that's that to treat people how they treat people. You know, like, we are the karma police. You know, you gotta enforce that. I think I would hope that most of the really nice, sweet people I know out there would think the same of me. And I think there's a lot of assholes out there that think I'm an asshole. So.
All right. Do unto others before they do it to you. Okay, we're going to go. Thank you so much, Bradley. I want to hear from Sean Finley. Let's hear from him.
You know, it's funny. I'm going to answer your questions in a roundabout way. As I was thinking about what makes, you know, noir so, I don't know, interesting or fascinating, I think it's, you know, noir stuff is filled with characters that just feel real, right? It's filled with characters who are making bad decisions, or they're making a decision that looks good on the surface, but it's not, you know, once you really get into it. And to me, that's what makes noir feel so authentic, right? Is because the characters just feel like they've stepped out of real life. And so I think that a really good or a well-produced like noir story feels authentic on some level. And I think that in order to live a good life, you have to be true to yourself. You have to have some sort of, you know, whether it's a moral compass or some level of authenticity that you stick to. Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Indeed, indeed. And finally, I think that would be Elliot Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Speak to us, Elliot, with the closing remarks.
Well, thank you. So when I look at a noir producer, I'm more thinking about how they accept the financial implications of doing these type of movies versus others. I just think that's sort of got to be in the, you know, their perspective of that it's not all about making money. And so that's probably different than other producers in the industry. So, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I would think, that those producers are not as financially driven as others, but more inclined to tell their story.
All right, let's pick your brain about these deep metaphysical questions, Elliot. What makes a good life and how do you live it?
What makes a good life? I think ultimately having fun in what you're doing, whatever that is, whether it's work or play. And then, if you have children, I think you also have to look at your good life is reflected on what you've done to help your children, move up in life. So it's both yourself and your family that I think adds up to a good life.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached everyone and heard everything that we could hear from these great neo-noir artists. Give yourselves a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing up and imparting such great wisdom on me. We've reached the close of our show. I believe everybody had a chance to speak, hopefully. If you didn't, raise your hand. All right, I don't see any hands. Nobody, everybody has hands. Yes, okay. So thank you so much for appearing here. If anyone had any questions for me, you're welcome to ask them. But we're going to close our show tonight with a thank you and keep it neo-noir, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo! Good night.
Thank you for being a great host.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for the laughs.
It was terrific. Right. Thank you.
Happy neo-noir year. Woo-hoo! Cut this off.
Thanks. And everyone.
Bye-bye. Good night. Night. Right. Good night, Colleen. Have a good day, George.
If you can't tell, this is the first time I've used Zoom.
That's all right. You see, I'm still on, so I'm working on it. Okay.
I know there's an exit meeting somewhere.
I know it should be on the bottom down there.
Okay.
You keep working on it. I'll see you.
All right. Good night.